All right, let's just get right into it. I want you to forget every single piece of stale productivity advice you've ever heard. You know, the whole work 14-hour days, multitask like a maniac, it's all complete garbage. Today, we're going to tear that whole system down and talk about a way to work that actually works instead of just making you look busy. You ready? Let's do this. You know this feeling, don't you? You spend the whole day just sprinting, answering emails, jumping between meetings, putting out fires. You feel so busy. But then when you're lying in bed at night, it hits you. Wait, what did I actually accomplish today? It feels like you were just running on a hamster wheel. You're exhausted, but you haven't actually gone anywhere. If that sounds familiar, then you really need to hear this. For years, we've been sold this massive lie in the professional world that multitasking is some kind of superpower, that it's a skill you should put on your resume. It's bullshit. Let me be perfectly clear. Multitasking is the fastest way to make yourself less effective. You're not doing a bunch of things at once. You're just destroying your focus, making every single task take longer, and guess where that leads? Straight to burnout. So here's the thing. What we all call multitasking isn't that at all. It's actually task switching. Your brain literally cannot, and I mean cannot, focus on two important things at the same time. What's really happening is your mind is just frantically jumping back and forth like a squirrel in 5 espressos. And every single time it jumps, it costs you mental energy. It leaves this gunk behind called attention residue, which gums up the works for the next thing. The result? It takes you about 50% longer to finish your work, and you make way more mistakes. Tell me, how is that efficient? And this quote right here from Chris Bailey's book, Hyperfocus, absolutely hits the nail on the head. This idea changes the entire game. See, productivity isn't about trying to cram more hours into the day. It's about becoming a ruthless bodyguard for the most valuable thing you own, your attention. This is the system for working smarter. Okay, so to really get this system, first we gotta understand how our brains are actually wired. So let's dive in to part 1, your brain's attention space. The easiest way to think about your attention space is it's like the desktop on your computer. You only have so much room to open up windows and work on things. It's incredibly powerful, for sure, but as you're about to find out, that desk is surprisingly small. This analogy is just perfect. Our brain is basically a cheap laptop with 2 gigs of RAM. But what do? We try to run 50 Chrome tabs at once. Our emails, that report we have to finish, what we're going to have for lunch, replaying that argument from yesterday, and then we wonder why our brain starts to lag and freeze up. Of course it does. Your RAM is maxed out. So just how tiny is it? Get ready for this. Of the 11 million bits of information your senses are taking in every single second, your conscious brain can only process 40. Not 40,000, just 40. A simple conversation with one person can take up almost all of that. So the bottom line is painfully simple. When you try to do 2 things at once, you're not actually doing either of them well. Now, because our capacity is so tiny, we spend most of our day in what's called autopilot mode. A notification pops up, we click it. An email dings, we open it. We're just reacting to whatever's thrown at us. Our day controls us. The goal is to flip that, to get into intentional mode, where you are the one in the driver's seat. You decide what gets to use up those precious 40 bits of your attention. Okay, so the big question, how do we actually do that? Well, Bailey gives us 2 kind of magic brain modes that work together. This is where it gets really practical, stuff you can literally start using today. So first up is Hyperfocus. This is your execution engine, your attack mode. It's for getting the important stuff done with zero mercy. But then, and this is the part that might surprise you, there's Scatterfocus. This is your creativity engine. And here's the key. They are both equally important. It's like breathing in and breathing out. You can't just do one of them. Getting into hyperfocus mode is actually simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It's just 4 steps. Number 1, choose. Pick one and only one important thing to work on. 2, eliminate. This is huge. Turn off your notifications, close the tabs, kill every possible distraction. 3, focus. Pour every ounce of your attention into that one task. And 4, bring it back. Look, your mind is going to wander. That's what minds do. Your only job is to notice it and gently guide it back without beating yourself up. Seriously, just do this one thing. The most powerful way to destroy distractions is to make them physically unreachable. Your phone is a black hole for productivity. Research shows that when we're on a computer, we can only work for about 40 seconds before something distracts us. 40 seconds. Don't let your phone make that even worse. put it in another room, hide it, let it die of loneliness while you actually get your real work done. And now for the plot twist, Scatterfocus. We are, without a doubt, the most boredom-phobic generation in history. If we have to wait 5 seconds for an elevator, we pull out our phones. Waiting for the coffee to brew? Let's scroll TikTok. But Bailey argues that boredom isn't a bug in our system, it's a feature. It's in those moments, when our brain isn't focused on something, that it starts connecting random ideas and coming up with genius solutions. It's strategic daydreaming. And it's so important to know the difference. Mindlessly doom scrolling on Instagram isn't rest. It's just another form of stimulation that makes your brain even more tired. That's a cheap distraction. Real scatter focus is doing something simple, almost automatic, or even just doing nothing at all. Washing the dishes, taking a walk without headphones in. This is what gives your brain the space to work its magic in the background. It's exactly why all of our best ideas seem to pop into our heads in the shower, right? Okay, so we've got our two powerful brain modes, but how do we structure our day so we can actually use them without getting totally stressed out? Well, that brings us to the final tool that will completely change the way you plan your day. We all know this monster, right? The endless to-do list, the one with dozens of tasks on it, the list that doesn't actually inspire you. It just gives you a shot of anxiety the second you look at it. It's the list that pretty much guarantees you'll feel like a failure at the end of the day because it's impossible to finish. There has to be a better way. And the solution is the rule of 3. It's beautifully simple. Every morning, before the world starts throwing chaos at you, you just decide on 3 things. The 3 most important things that if you get them done will make today a win. That's it. Everything else you do that day, that's just a bonus. This forces you to get real and ask, what actually matters today? The psychological effect of this is incredible. You no longer end your day staring at the 17 things you didn't get to. You end your day with a clear victory. I did my 3 most important tasks. This builds momentum, it cuts down on stress, and it gives you that feeling of genuine accomplishment. So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. The quality of your attention really does determine the quality of your life. If your attention is constantly being hijacked by notifications and random distractions, your life is going to feel chaotic and unfocused. But by intentionally choosing where your focus goes, you're not just taking back your productivity, you're taking back control of your entire life. All right, let's be real with each other for a second. What is that one thing, that one app, that one habit that steals your attention space the most? For me, if I'm being honest, it's probably YouTube Shorts. So drop it in the comments below. What's your biggest attention thief? Is it TikTok, the family WhatsApp group, or that work email you just can't resist checking at 10 p.m.? Let's call it out, because acknowledging the enemy, that's the first step to beating it. Thanks for watching.
That wraps up today's review. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. See you next time.